This is CBC Compass.
This is Tuesday, November 28th. Here's what's happening now on Prince Edward Island. Green Day, big win for the party in the District 11 by-election. Thank you for joining us on Compass at 6. I'm Louise Martin. The makeup of the provincial legislature has changed tonight. There will soon be a little more green in the chamber. It was a history-making vote in District 11. That is Hannah Bell and her supporters at the victory party last night. This is the second Green Party member to ever be elected in this province. It was a tight race through most of the evening, but in the end, Bell took the by-election by about 150 votes. We will have the total breakdown for you ahead, as well as federal reaction and an interview with Bell herself a little later. But first, a look at how the next Island MLA spent her day after the big win. Here's Laura Meter.
It's Hannah Bell's first time coming to the legislature as an elected MLA.
No, it's quite a different feeling knowing that I'll be taking a seat in here within a couple of weeks. And our politics in the island have changed forever. So it's a place for us to keep moving on from. What this is, we're not going to go backwards, we're only going to go forwards, and it's so exciting to be a part of that story.
There are handshakes along the way and some paperwork. She's not an official MLA yet, but sat in the gallery today.
I think it's very significant. I think not only did we win an extra seat in the House, but I think we have sort of stated very loudly and clearly that the Green Party is here to stay, that my getting elected was not, it wasn't a flash in the pan, it wasn't a weird thing that happened. And Susan and I.
The Green Party believes more candidates can be elected. They are already recruiting people to run for the next provincial election expected in 2019.
If we were to reach 35% in the polls in a true three-way race, we could easily be the government next time. So it's not out of the question, and things can change quickly in politics.
Bevan-Baker says Hannah Bell will bring valuable skills to the legislature. She has worked with several organizations, getting finances in order and creating strategic plans. The Greens plan to ask the legislature for a larger office space, an increased budget, and more time to ask questions in the legislature. Those requests will be dealt with by a legislative committee. Hannah Bell says the Greens will make a difference here.
We are able to be in there without an agenda driven by a large, political machine.
At this point, an official swearing-in date has been set for December 13th. The Greens, however, are hoping to have that date moved up so Hannah Bell can sit in the legislature as soon as possible. Laura Meter, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Meanwhile, federal Green Party leader Elizabeth May is obviously very happy with the result here on PEI. She was on Parliament Hill today for question period. Here's what she told reporters today about Hannah Bell's win.
This was a seat held by a Liberal cabinet member, and it's now held by Hannah Bell, who is the first Green Party candidate we've ever had on Prince Edward Island who had to go through a contested nomination. She has a strong reputation on behalf of the Women's Business Council in PEI. She's terrific. I think the world of her, and I want to thank the voters in District 11 for putting their trust in the Green Party of Prince Edward Island.
As we mentioned, it was a pretty tight race throughout most of the evening. The PC and Liberal candidates were second and third. Here's what they had to say after the results were out.
I'm deeply humbled. I really can't believe the amount of support I got from family, friends, and new friends. So I just want to say thank you. I'm very happy with the campaign that we worked hard together. I'm disappointed, of course, in not being the winner of this, but I've learned a lot, and we'll come back another day.
I just think the voters needed a change. The change was obviously they didn't want Liberal in there, so they went another direction. And unfortunately, there was also a very low voter turnout. So, absolutely feel disappointed. But it's incredible to be part of such a wonderful team that I've been a part of for the last month. So, there's the bittersweet and absolutely great at the same breath.
We did reach out to NDP candidate Mike Redmond today for his thoughts. He said he was not available for an interview. Well, Hilton mentioned voter turnout there. It was about 60%. Let's take a look at the final vote breakdown as well. Hannah Bell took 768 votes. Behind her, Liberal Bob DOIRON with 611. Melissa Hilton had 586. Mike Redmond, 202. That is all according to direct data from Elections PEI. And here's what that means for the makeup of the legislature. PEI has 27 seats. The Liberals have now lost one, so have 17. The Progressive Conservatives stay at 8, and the Green Party is up to 2. It is a big day for the Green Party here on PEI after a big night. Hannah Bell won the District 11 by-election, and fresh off that win, joins me now on Compass. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
And how are you feeling today?
Oh, fantastic. A bit tired.
A little bit tired, yes. What do you think gave you the edge here?
I don't think there's one major thing. I think it's a combination of different pieces. I think it's a combination of timing, that there is a real appetite for change. That that you're really hearing at the doors and across the board from people in and outside the district that they really wanted to see something different. I think also we had a really strong set of candidates, but we ran a really good campaign from the get-go. So we weren't caught short, even though it was a very fast call. We had an incredible team of volunteers. We have Peter Bevan-Baker in the House already, so we were able to point to the impact that he's already had there as the leader, and those things all come together. That people in the district were really clear about wanting to see something different.
Let's talk about the issues. So when you were door knocking, when you were speaking to people in District 11, what were you hearing from them, and what will your priority be?
So what we heard was a basket of issues, and I think that was pretty common, for all of the candidates and for most of the doors. Different people have different things that they think are their priorities, and absolutely, they're all priorities. Everybody's priorities are their own, and I think that's really important that we have individuals saying what matters to them. But there were some really strong themes. We had a strong theme about people being really concerned about the state of healthcare and provision of healthcare, and not just what we think automatically of seniors, which is in a crisis situation right now, but also a crisis that's coming or is already happening for mental health care. Broader, it's about how do we provide care in the community? How do we kind of reduce that impact so people aren't getting to that acute stage? We also heard of those same kind of concerns around education, creaking at the seams, and that the system isn't working, the testing, sort of perhaps teaching to a test isn't working for us, and the pressures that are coming from more and more kids needing assessments for psych evaluations and psycho assessments in terms of what additional care and supports they need in the school system, and the pressure that puts on teachers in really an unsustainable space. And another key piece is around some of the challenges that come just with the challenges around making a living. And that can be, concerns about food insecurity, so people literally not being able to have enough capacity to feed their own families despite working, or the underemployed, not being able to find enough consistent work, and how those reflect in things like access to housing. So we have a housing shortage already in Charlottetown, but when you add in the challenges that come with trying to find affordable housing or accessible housing, particularly for those with physical mobility challenges, for example. So when we put all those things together, what we see is really a story about systemic challenges for our well-being. So one of the biggest messages that I took away from the door, and what we really took away as a team, was that we need to actually be putting changes in place that improve the quality of lives of people. I didn't hear a single person at the door tell me they were worried about our GDP. I heard a lot of people telling me they're worried about their mum, or about their daughter, or about their cousin, or their son, or about their neighbor.
Very personal issues.
Very personal, very personal. And we need to really remember that this is always about people. And I had the privilege of talking to over 1,500 people during this campaign, so half of the district. If we'd had more time, I probably could have managed to talk to all of them. But it was such a common story about how has it gotten this bad? How did we not know that people were going to age? And the short answer is, well, we did know. We did know, but we don't do things about long-term problems when we're worried about whether we're going to get re-elected.
Okay, well, congratulations again.
Thank you again.
And thank you for coming on Compass.
Thanks so much.